You're live.
We're live. Are we live? Yeah, I guess we're
live.
Let's see. Yeah, they're asking right off the bat about what I said. No, just kidding.
Oh.
All right, so we'll see if anybody pops in, I guess. That's how it's going to go. All right. Okay. Okay, first time going live. Looks like we got a few people on. Welcome, welcome. We got Kiri Armani. Hello. KJ. Hello. We're about to get things started with our women's self-defense class, and we're going to answer some questions at the end as well. We appreciate you guys joining us. Yeah, you are the first comment, Kiri. So thank you. All right, guys, we're going to get things warmed up in a minute. If you guys are at home and you're going to participate, find a space, set up your screen, and we'll get it going. Hello, Catherine.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Okay, guys, let's kind of just make a little circle. You guys can see. We'll stretch out for a few minutes, wait for everybody to get here, and then we will get started. Don't be shy about the camera. Have a seat. Let's go. New thing, right? We're trying some new things today. So let's start off with some light stretching. And I think April's still going to be here. So feet together, guys. Butterfly stretch. And just press out with your elbows. I'm sorry, Kenya and? Karina. That should be easy to remember. Okay, bring one leg behind you. We call this an S stretch. We're going to start off towards the knee, which is usually a little more comfortable. And then we work towards the foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Towards your foot a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to switch sides. Starting at the knee again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Towards the foot a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's go ahead and go one leg straight, one leg bent. Reach for the toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and both legs out. Start off with your hands behind. Give yourself a good posture. Shoulders back. Chest out. Arch the lower back a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and reach forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Both hands to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and both to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's do a little organizing. So we do have an online class going on at the same time. What I think we should do is we'll get right into the information. We'll talk about the program because we have a couple of new students here and we have some people online that are watching. So we'll discuss all that in a second. But let's kind of do this. Let me get Lizette to come over here today for whatever little adjustments I got to do. Okay, and let's kind of bring it in a little bit, guys. So what we're going to be doing today, talking about women's self-defense against a sexual assault. Okay, I think when people hear martial arts, they think about karate chops and things like that, right? I'm curious to know what you guys, because you guys are new, what you guys thought or what you think you're going to be learning today. Have you ever done Jiu-Jitsu before? Have you ever trained in martial arts before?
When I was a kid, I took dance judo for about 2 years.
Okay.
And so I remember it's not necessarily too as much energy, is to conserve your energy.
Yeah,
and
it's a lot
feel
about
more
that.
It's easier to, I guess, protect yourself. But
Yeah. So Tensudo, for whoever doesn't know, is very similar to Taekwondo, and Taekwondo is very similar to karate. So they're all very similar arts. You trained in
Taekwondo.
Taekwondo, so very similar to Tensudo. However, it's a striking based martial art. So you're going to be learning punches, kicks, blocks, things like that. Most of it takes place on the feet. So that is one big difference in what we're doing here, as opposed to maybe what you've done or what you've seen, is that here we're working a lot of ground techniques and we're doing less striking and more leverage based techniques to be able to escape a bad situation. Okay? Any martial arts training, did you say, or nothing?
No,
None yet. Okay, so today we're going to talk about something pretty simple, but before we get to the technique, I want you guys to know that the goal of this class is not to learn how to kick someone's, you know what. The goal is to learn to get away from a bad situation and get home safe to your loved ones. That's the most important thing of all. We have about 10 lessons, I would say, that are our main lessons, and then we have 5 advanced lessons. But remember, there's always, hold on, see, bad things happen, you gotta be ready. No, there's always a what if. There's always a what if. So that's a big thing. A lot of people don't understand that. When you first come to class, you could always ask, what if this? What if the person changes it? What if the person does that? But we got to take it slow. We got to learn, start with a crawl, then walk, then jog, then sprint. That's the way this works. There's a saying that I like a lot, and you guys are going to hear me say it in this class, in our normal jiu-jitsu class. We're here to learn how to fight. So we're learning to fight, we're not fighting to learn. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you and me are partners, and I think I'm doing her a favor by resisting every part of that technique on the first day that she learned it, I'm actually making things worse. I'm not fighting her to say, hey, I'm helping you learn, because this could happen. No, we're learning to fight, not fighting to learn. Super, super important to understand that. Now, another thing that's super important to understand is that every sexual assault that ever takes place is going to go through 4 stages. You guys remember those stages? It's a tough one. We haven't talked about it for a few weeks. Stage 1, they have to identify you. Anybody who wants to attack you, they got to identify you. Nothing's going to happen if they don't see you, right? So they identify the target. That's stage 1. Stage 2 is to submit. You've been training too much sport jiu-jitsu. No. Subdue. 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 So subduing somebody is physically kind of overpowering that person and holding on to them, right? So identify you. Then when the time is right, at least in their mind, they're going to subdue you. They're going to grab a hold of you, right? The third thing, and probably in my opinion would be the scariest stage of an attack, is that they have to exhaust you. Why? Because if you're not getting exhausted and you're alive, you are going to go crazy to make sure that the next part doesn't take place, which is the execution of that assault. So identify, subdue, exhaust, execute. Now, I didn't make these things up. These are things that were taught to me by my coaches at the Gracie School back in the day. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, but I am trying to improve it. So as we go on, we're going to learn a lot of the fundamental stuff, and then we're going to build on the fundamental stuff. But you have to know which part of the sexual assault you are currently in at that moment. Like, I'll give you an example. Everybody always tells, all the women who have been training for a long time, they say, Professor, you should do a video about Thanksgiving, because I'm always saying that Thanksgiving is the time where you pay least attention. When you run to that grocery store and you grab that can of gravy or whatever it is you're getting, you're not looking around you, and that's super important. You gotta be aware of your surroundings, right? The second thing that you have to learn to do that is kind of foreign to most of us is creating boundaries, right? If there's a guy who's walking by you, you're walking by him, you have to understand first off, what is a safe distance? What is a safe distance? What do you guys think? What's a safe distance like for you versus a stranger?
6 feet. Yeah,
6 feet.
Right now.
Yeah, for real, right? 6 feet. But 6 feet might work. That might be accurate. I would say it depends on where I am and who it is. You know, let's be real. If you're at the grocery store, at least before this pandemic, if you're at the grocery store and you're looking at apples, you want to buy an apple or two, someone else is buying apples, they're not 6 feet away from you. They're picking from the same batch that you're picking from. So that might be, okay, we're in a store. You have a million reasons in your head that are processing why that's okay at that moment. But if you're in the parking lot and somebody's walking towards you and they're within 10 feet, you're very aware in that moment, right? So there's two completely different scenarios. So it's kind of a trick question. It's like one of those things where it's like, I don't know, it depends who it is, it depends where we are, it depends what's going on, and it's true, all of that depends. But you have to set boundaries. Like if somebody is close enough, say where Lizette is here and I'm here, we're about 10 feet apart, 9 feet apart. If I'm walking towards her and she doesn't know who I am, she might feel kind of weird if she's somewhere where there might be people around or whatever, for her to yell out, hey, stop, stop. I might look at her and go, dude, this chick is crazy. Like, what is she yelling at? I was just about to go to Starbucks or whatever. But what do you risk by doing that if you do it? You might look a little silly if you were wrong, but the reward is much better than the risk, right? You guys have to learn to set boundaries. Now, I'm not telling you to yell at everybody that walks by you. That would be weird. But you gotta be, you gotta use common sense. But when somebody's in your space, you need to know what that is as well. Like when we're talking about a fight situation, most of the time, 2 arms distance. Why? Because 2 arms distance means that you probably can't kick me either. So in Jiu-Jitsu, we want to keep that 2 arms distance at all times. But if it's a stranger, I want more space than that. I want more than 2 arms distance. I want more than 6 feet. I want probably 10 or 12 feet. And you have the right to have however many feet you need. And just let them know if they get into your bubble. You don't have to yell like a maniac, but you have to let them know, hey. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were walking towards me. I'm really sorry. That's it. If they turn around and go, whoa, okay, cool. Move on about your day. You're never going to see that person again in your life anyways. Who cares, right? But if they do come into your space after you've given them a boundary, then they got bad intentions. And that's where we have to know what to do. Okay? So again, let's go through it just before we get to the actual physical techniques. Identify, subdue, exhaust, execute. It doesn't just go from identify to execute. Things have to happen. All right? So where does it start to get physical? In the subdue stage. Somebody's trying to subdue you. Right? So what we're going to work on today is something super basic, but I think that a lot of people do it wrong, and we need to do it right. And this, if we can stop it at the first stages, we'll never get to the late stages. And that's the whole point of what we're doing today. So let's do this. I'm going to borrow Lizette, and I'm going to have maybe 2 here and 2 here, or yeah, that's right, 2 and 2. The camera will be a student, and you're going to be my partner for this one, okay? So let's stand up. All right, so yeah, 2 over here, have a seat, guys. And then 2 right here, have a seat. So you guys, I'm going to teach this way is what I'm saying. Okay? So, all right, so what we're going to be doing, move in a little bit, guys, just to kind of gather towards that. Yeah, has to be like class, right? So the first thing we have to understand is base. What is base in Jiu-Jitsu? Give me an idea. What is base, Catherine? Give me what's, yeah, to pull, you're going to be more protected in your shoulder. Okay? Now when she tries to pull me, I'm here. Now should I hold tight? Should I do this? No, of course, same thing. We lose our base, right? So the idea is to be low, kind of counter the push, or the pull, excuse me, and be here ready to go. Now, what do you think most women would do if that was the situation next? What's next? And on this one, Catherine, pull that computer close and let's see if anybody online knows what's next as well. So what do you guys think? What would be next in this situation? I've managed to stop the pull. What would I do next to get away from this situation? Everybody I've seen online thus far on videos, knee to the, you know what, right? Knee to the you know what. Could that work? Yes, of course it could work. I mean, is there value in a knee to the groin? 100% yes, if you hit accurately.
Right.
Okay, but where was that white van again? Right, and for me to attempt it, if she stays like a statue attacker, and I can go here, great. But what if she's actively pulling, to the point where if my roots get unplanted, then I end up going in the direction that she wants to take me. You understand? So it's a big problem. The strike could work, but she's not going to be where she is right now once the strike reaches her, because she's just waiting for that give. As soon as the give happens, everything's changing. And now I'm off balance, I'm on one leg, and who knows, right? So that's the one reason why I'm against, most of the time, striking. It needs to be a direct hit, and it needs to be something that I don't go too close to where she wants to take me, okay? So here's how we're going to get out. We're going to start off here. We're going to get on our surfboard sideways, okay? And now we're going to do something called the shuffle step. So the shuffle step is when my back leg starts things off and my front leg kind of catches up a little bit. Why am I doing that? Because the next thing I need to do is bring my elbow under to her elbow. A lot of women would say, or a lot of people, even guys, they say, pull the hand. It's kind of hard to do. If she's much stronger than I am, switch. If I'm like this, pull the hand up. I can go with the hand. I can kind of go with it. There's no disconnection happening here when all you're doing is this. So how do we actually get it to let go? I need to really forget about this and move around it. Like in Jiu-Jitsu, if I'm not strong enough to move my partner, I move myself. So what I'm going to do is I base out. I hit that shuffle step. So she's trying to pull me, shuffle step. Now, I pretend that there's two walls, one here, which means we're in a very narrow spot. The reason I tell you guys to pretend that is because a lot of women start bringing their elbows all over the place. They go like this. All that crazy stuff. I want an accurate underneath elbow. So if these walls are here, I'm going to go here. Okay? Looks too good to be true, but it's true. So one more time. Here, hold on. Now, why am I doing the shuffle step? Now that's going to make sense. If I'm like this and she's pulling me tightly, and I try from here to bring my elbow, I might do exactly what I said I should, and I'm going with her. I'm starting to lean over my front knee, which is bad news. Keep pulling. Yeah, now you're moving. You see? So we're going to take one shuffle forward on our terms. Now, base, step one, right? Elbow protects the shoulder. We talked about that. Now get a serious grip on this. And what I'm going to do is shuffle step to the outside. Why would I want to do this? Who's behind? Yeah, that too. But who's behind? She's behind me. If I shuffle step in front of her like this, then things get worse, right? So my idea is to get behind that heel. So I base out here, back leg kind of shuffles in. Awkward for you now, right? Feels weird. Now my elbow's going to go directly under. Keep holding as tight as you can, please. It's leverage. See, the sound effects began. Whenever she sees something that works, she's like, whee, there's like a squirrel flying through the air. So the idea is to move, like I said, between the walls. Between the walls. Can your hand come up? Yes, it can a little. But I think it's better to think about your elbow rather than your hand. Don't do this. If I'm way stronger, that might work. If she's way stronger, it won't work. So the idea is base, elbow tight, shoulder protected. You can shuffle step to the outside. How much? About a foot. Was that about a foot? Mm-hmm. Now, hold really tight. This doesn't move. Now there's walls on both sides and one on top if I can. Got it? Super simple. Now, does this have to be an attacker in the parking lot on Thanksgiving? No. This could be the dude at the club. This could be anybody, anywhere. Hey, excuse me, can I talk to you real quick? See, she tried to pull her hand up because she's pretending she doesn't know what to do. But she does. So right here, base. Good. Surfboard is great. She's not over leaning. That's huge. Because sometimes if I let her go and she falls, I'm going to jump on top of her and things get worse. She's going to protect her shoulder with her elbow, so she squeezes it. I might take some of that bend back, but just by doing it, you're protecting. Quick shuffle step outward. Perfect. The walls are there, the elbow's up, and I have to let go. So it's all about leverage. It's all about leverage. And every technique in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has kind of what I call the light bulb moment. It's something where you're like, if the guy was way stronger, they don't know what they don't know. I can't talk to you about things that I don't know. I'm a fool if I do that. I want to listen and learn, but they don't want to do that. People don't believe in it. They say, oh, it just doesn't work because my whole life no one's ever done it to me. But once you're doing it and you understand it, you're going to be effective with these techniques. And something that small could get the subdue stage to be the last stage you experience, right? If you go further than that, exhaustion stage, because who knows? You don't know what you're doing. You try to do that kick to the groin. Hey, thank you, come with me. Boom. And like I said, we're not far. The van's right there, okay? So let's start things off with a little bit of base and the wrist grab release. And one other detail I'm going to put in on there for you guys is this. I'm going to actually move a little closer so everybody can see. I'm sorry, can I move you a little bit that way? So on this, the one time that I've seen that this didn't work, something happened and I learned from teaching a bunch of white belts. The girl was in the self-defense course and she had her fist made, which was cool. She was doing everything pretty much right. and her back foot was not in line with her partner in any way. She was kind of this way, okay? And what happened was, as she started to try and bring her elbow under, this hand continued to hit this forearm. And there was a problem because she almost like bent her own wrist. If I can give you a better example, would be here. So if Lizette has freedom to, bring her elbow under and her hand up, bring your elbow under, then she's the same move. It's just that there's a tiny difference, right? So make sure that when you guys are trying this technique, this fist is free. There's got to be some freedom there because the opening is where? It's right here. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys are going to get out, that's the secret. Getting out towards that one finger, that thumb. So one last time, she's got her base right on. Now she's protecting her shoulder with her elbow. Shuffle step. Take your time. I knew she was going to go fast. One more time. So here, shuffle step. Savor that bite. There it is. You get me? Simple, effective, and it's a base technique for many other techniques you guys are going to learn down the road. So there's going to be other things that are probably way more complicated, but we're going to refer back to this and go, remember when we learned base? Remember when we learned how to wrist release on the standard wrist release? Let me ask you this. What if it's the other hand? What now? A lot of times we talk about this one, but I've had people ask me, or actually didn't even ask. You know what happens? Hi, give me a name of a woman, quick.
Karen.
I'm Karen. Let's do the wrist release. And then you're like, hey, you're supposed to attack me like this. You're not supposed to attack me like this. You know what I mean? So it's happened a million times, but it's the same move. It's just that the rule matters more now for this. So like if I'm doing this, do the elbow under, you run into the wall. Now step that way, free yourself, now do the move. No. If you go this way, what's going to happen? So now do it. There it is. You see the difference?
Yeah.
It's the same technique, but it is a little bit different because it's the cross grip. So we're going same side, like left to left today to start things off, right? And then later, once you guys feel comfortable with left to left, we'll do right to left. And right to left is the one that always gets messed up unless she's shown off, So look here, boom, that happens all the time. But if she takes a miniature step, and now her fist is outward, game over, she's gonna get it. I can't hold, okay? So let's start with left to left, fair? Any questions? Cool, all right, I'm gonna check if we have anybody watching, and so, then we'll see if they have any questions, and then we'll get things going. On 3, 1, 2, 3, let's go.
Okay.
Dang, 25 minutes.
Okay. So I grab this one. Okay. Well, I grab you with this one, huh? Yeah. Okay, so right here.
Michael Elliott, I'm a man, but I still find this cool. I appreciate that, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Michael Elliott, place you train MMA,
So let's
places.
So you have to grab this.
Cool.
Okay, I don't know. How do you do left to left? Left hand to left. Left hand.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's not left to left.
No,
It's left to right.
left to right.
It's left to right. And same side. Good call on that one. Good call. All right, ready? Just give it a shot. So I grab your wrist. I give you a pull, sideways base. Bend your knees a little bit.
Did that go right?
A little bit wider, I would say. Yeah, good. So the wider you go, the stronger you're going to feel this way.
Okay, yeah.
However, if I move, the weaker you feel this way. Okay?
Yeah.
So from here, what you're going to do now is protect the shoulder with your elbow. Perfect. And now you're going to do a shuffle step. So the right leg or left, it doesn't matter. Wherever you feel best, you're going to shuffle. Good. And now you're good. Now I'm not in front of you. I'm sorry, I'm not behind you. You're in front. You're behind. So now from here, elbow, this is my elbow.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So what I want you to do is actually push your elbow to move. Don't just lightly do it. Kind of like bring it to you, okay? Don't have you go this way. Yeah. So here,
Just have
good.
to make sure that,
Like your
Elbow,
Yeah.
perfect. Just like that. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Grab mine. I know you're going to say, oh, it's much stronger, but you tell me honestly at the end of this,
Yeah.
from 1 to 10, how much strength you think I use. Okay. So hold tight, squeeze. Okay. Give me a pull. Try and pull. Good.
So
So my base drop.
This foot goes
Hold.
behind
Hold really tight. Hold
behind
really
you.
tight. Really tight. Really tight. Really
Yeah.
tight. You really try to hold?
Yeah. Kinda, I don't want to scratch you.
No, you're good. Scratch away. No, I'm just kidding. But really try to hold it. Let's see.
Okay.
Get a better grip. Best you can. There you go. That's a strong one. That's a strong one.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, just like
It's crazy, right? It's crazy how easy it is.
Okay, I have to
That's
give because I can't.
All right, let's switch. Let me get with everybody. Gonna come over here and then let you guys work.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
This is Maribel, guys. Say hi.
Hello.
Get over here. Don't be nervous. She's learning. She's brand new. Okay, here we go. So first thing, I'm gonna grab the wrist, sideways base. Good. You're on your surfboard. Bend your knees a little. Now remember too that your head has a lot to do with it. If I'm pulling you and your head's on this side of your body, like say you split your body in half, you're gonna lean this way. Lean back. Protect your shoulder with your elbow. Very good. Now a little shuffle step towards my foot. What are you in a hurry for? Savor the bite. So now from here, get your foot a little closer. Shuffle freeze. Now, elbow under, push it to my forearm. Exactly. Other
Yeah,
side.
me too.
So here, if I pull this side, boom. Elbow tight, shoulder protected, step out.
I remember crap.
Okay, time. So one thing that's super important too, guys, is which leg we have forward. I think we did it right, but we didn't talk about it. So if I get this right here, if I'm pulling this arm and she's got that leg forward, switch your feet, please. Yeah. Even though you feel like you're doing the sideways thing, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's very hard for her to stop me from making that, for her to stop me from pulling that back leg forward, right? It's gonna happen almost every time. So you cannot have like my wrist here and me like this. You're about to fall off the surfboard. A good surfer is not falling like this, he's or she's here. Okay, so find your balance. Whatever they're pulling, same leg forward. Other side, same leg forward. It's very similar if I'm pushing. If I'm pushing, let's turn sideways. Then drop your base a little, tuck your elbows tight, okay, and press back into the wind. What do I mean by that? If the house is trying to stand tall and the wind is blowing, it has to lean towards the wind, not away from the wind. So right now, what's the house? Look at her legs right now. Her legs are shaped like a kid would draw a house. So now, she's got good base on the push. She's got to lean the other way on the pull. Exactly. Push, pull. Super important concept. And it has to be the same leg forward. I was going to tag me right there. All right, so let's get back to it. 1, 2, 3. Okay. You guys will get used to that. Those will catch up. Let's go. Is everybody online able to hear us okay? I don't know if the audio is working well. I hope it is.
The one that you have in
Looks like it will help in San Francisco. What's up from San Francisco? That's cool. Online, if you guys have any questions and you're staying with us on this lesson, please feel free to type the question out and I will be happy to answer.
I always like to I didn't get out of that.
You took me. I'm like, you took me. I'm
Just never let your legs cross.
What's up, Connect? Connect said, hey.
Just right here. Even when you're walking.
Cool. Thank you guys for the likes. Thanks for watching. What do you do once you get out of the grip? The idea is to get home safe. So that depends where you are. Sometimes there's a wall behind you. Sometimes you have, think about this too. It's not always a stranger. That's a pretty scary thing to imagine, but sometimes it's not a stranger attacking. I'd say probably more than half the time it's not a stranger attacking. So if you're in the house, super scary situation, you're going to need to definitely have some skills to be able to deal with that situation. And jiu-jitsu, in my opinion, is the best art for a one-on-one fair confrontation. You see a lot of stuff in John Wick and all those movies. I don't agree that that's maybe the best stuff. So learning how to use leverage, technique, and timing is super important if you can't get away, if you're stuck in a room or stuck somewhere. And jiu-jitsu provides that. But if you're out in public and you escape the situation, don't run back in to win the fight. A lot of women say, what if I can just give him a kick on my way out just for doing what he did? What's the problem with that? Where am I at if I kick? I'm on one leg. Never compromise your balance just to come in and deliver damage. It's not about delivering damage, it's about getting home safe to your family. So that would be my answer to that question. If you can get away, continue to get away. Don't go back in and try to deliver punishment. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Thank you, Gabby. I hope you can join us again on Wednesday. We're going to try again on Wednesday. Tell some people, too. That'd be kind of cool. Nice. Good, Kenya. Why is everybody else watching? You guys are all shocked by her effectiveness? Come on. Good. So you don't have to necessarily do it at the same time. Take your time for today. Like I said, we just kind of savor the bite, right? But the idea is to kind of work your footwork, boom, get in a good base, and then slowly kind of release. I think if you can do it slow, you can easily do it fast. Right? But not vice versa. So if you can walk, if you can jog, you can sprint. But just because you can sprint, I don't know, it's like you have to have the prerequisites. Babies got to crawl before they stand. Right? So that's the idea with this. Not to call you guys babies, don't get mad at me, but it's get your base, find the position, see how far you can resist. A lot of things too, let's go back to our little learning zone here. So one of the things that we're also going to work on right now is the roots and replanting the roots. So to give you an example, let's say I was this big, strong guy, right? And you were this small, weaker than me person, right? If I'm pulling her and she tries her base the way we learned it today, okay, get your good base, get a good amount of it. Yes. If she does this and she's leaning, a lot of people do this. They feel themselves, the back leg's going to start to come off. No, but plant your front foot because you think you have to stay planted. Your roots have to stay planted. And then what I do is I pull so hard that the back roots come out, but she's willing to sacrifice the back roots because she still has the front roots. This happens a lot. And then what happens is what I call happy feet. So she starts to pull me, and I'm like, and I see people who are like, Professor, I'm still holding. And they're on this, and then all of a sudden it's like happy feet all day. They start running, and then they're in the van, and that's the end of that. We learn to replant our roots. So at the point where I know that back leg is starting to feel a little light, boom, I replant, pull, let's do it again. So here, pull, boom, and now it's more work. You got to start all over again each time. Does that make sense? So today, right now, actually, we're going to do this. We're going to have you guys replant your roots. Rather than leaning on your front foot and tipping over, the minute her head tips over her front foot, let it happen. Plant your left foot. Yeah, that's it. That's it. When that shoulder goes over that foot, her balance is gone. So if she feels that coming, she's got to shuffle step, replant, and then make it a nightmare. And the whole time, of course, are we going to be vocal? Of course. Stop. Help. Somebody help. Somebody help. What's that? Sound effects. Sound effects. But the idea is to, work more on the physical techniques right now, and then later we'll talk about the strategies, like how we're going to actually be vocal, whose attention we're trying to get, things like that. But right now, let's do the replanting the roots drill. So she's going to pull, I'm going to base, she's going to really pull, and I'm going to replant. Now, one thing about this drill, it's very easy to do this. What's my name again? You said
Karen.
Karen. So Karen's over here, first day of Jiu-Jitsu, and Karen's like, oh, professor said replant the roots. So as you start to pull, keep going. What's happening? We're going. We're just going slowly, but we're going. You know what I'm saying? So we can't let that happen. We got to make sure that we really try to make them earn every single replanting. It can't just happen for free. Does that make sense? So let's do our best to stop it. And it's really important right now because she actually switched and she grabbed with how many hands?
Dude.
And that's more serious. That's what's probably going to happen. Okay, but first thing is replant the roots. Don't get moved easily. And then right after that, we're going to talk about the 2 against 1 situation. Cool? 1, 2, 3. Oh, you were closer. Let's go.
That was delayed.
So maybe replant once or twice, get a good resistance, and then switch.
Like, no good.
Goldie Lopez, you are more than welcome. Super happy to have you guys on. Just saw the moon a couple of inches, then a full moon. All right. Interesting. John is on. What's up, John? Yeah, post your questions, guys. If you have any questions, I can give you guys some brief answers in between these transitions, these moves, and let you guys see what's going on. That's a lot of happy feet right there, Kenya. Don't get pulled easy.
Wait, I'm pulling you. I'm just working on my feet.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're working on
Good. And that's of course the deal. Like you would actually get rid of it, like if you had to, right? Good. Nice on that one. Don't be hoppy.
I know.
If she's not pulling you for real enough to move you past that front base, then guess what? This drill doesn't apply to you. Freeze. Shoulder. Shoulder protect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pull in.
Because this right here can get really jerky, right? If I pin this arm like this and she's pulling her elbow down, getting her base, come a little closer. So if she's like this right here, just doing this, don't try to bring it down, bring it to your own body. Yes, that protects this. If she relaxes it too much, like spaghetti arm, boom, bad news. You know what I mean? So don't let that happen. Although we'll talk about later a technique of going higher up to get rid of problems, but right now we'll stick to this, just keep your elbows tight. Ready? So next here, giving you guys a chance to complete the first level of training. I don't mean to be all complex with the answer, but I'm gonna say this. I have people who come in and train 4 days a week and they fart around the whole time. And then I have people who come in and train 2 days a week, and because they only have 2 days a week, they come in with this like laser focus. So I don't know if that answers your question, but it's up to you. If you come in just to come in, you're looking at the clock, I gotta be at Jiu-Jitsu between 6:30 and 7:30, and I need to do 4 days a week to get good. It's not enough. Like you have to actually be present mentally. And I've seen people that are at 2 days a week become, you know, much better than the 4-dayers when the 4-dayers are not mentally present. So actually I should make a video on that. We should talk about that because a lot of people ask that question. I hope that answers your question though. Edgy Waggy. Is that the right name to say? Edgy Waggy. Goldie, I just saw your channel and all I can say is wow, I was stunned. This is our very first class online, Goldie. So you're a part of our Jiu-Jitsu history here. We've never done this before, but we're going to continue to do it again. You're more than welcome, Edgy. If you have any other questions, please post. What happened? They're not making fun of you guys. Keep going. Jeez. No, I'm kidding. What time we got? Oh, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. About another 30 seconds, we're going to add our last piece to this puzzle today.
Are you pulling or am I pulling?
Bimia, you're more than welcome. Thanks for being a part of it. Students are awesome. Are you kidding me? It's tough to get into a Jiu-Jitsu academy. A lot of people are intimidated. But this might be a good entry for you guys to check us out. All right? So right now we're working the standard wrist grab release. Somebody grabs you with one hand against your one hand. The base position on an invisible partner that you can even practice at home is to turn perpendicular. If my partner's here, I want to be sideways. I don't want to be here resisting. I want to be here like this. Bend your knees. You see how my legs are kind of shaped like if a kid drew a house? Boom, boom. Roof, sides, right? So we're here like this. Hand is here. You don't want them to yank the shoulder out of the socket, so pull your elbow. Regardless of whether you can keep a heavy bend in it or not, even this is protective for your shoulder. Right? We're going to get really low, lean opposite of whatever's happening. They're pulling me, I'm leaning back. They're pushing me, I'm leaning forward. But sideways is the way to go. Step and bringing the elbow under. Okay? Simple technique to get away from a standard wrist grab. Okay, let's reset. We'll go back to our positions for one more. Questions, guys? Any questions? So let's do a rapid review. What are the stages of the assault? Identify, subdue, exhaust, execute. Man, you must have been doing jiu-jitsu for a long time. Because you remember all that. Or what can you remember?
I-C.
I-S-E-E. I see. Identify, subdue, exhaust, execute. 4 stages. Make sense? All right, so we know that all 4 have to happen. Today we're learning how to defeat or deal with the subdue stage. They're trying to subdue you. They haven't tried to exhaust you yet. Our first technique was the standard wrist grab. Let me use you, Catherine. Come on up. So Catherine's going to not stand square with me. Stand square on purpose, like as if you never train. Although she trains like 6 days a week. You cannot resist her, can you? Exactly. Turn sideways. Bend your knees a bit. Her shoulders protected. We're in good shape. If she moves at all this direction, it's not the end of the world. But she doesn't want to travel more than a little bit. Right? If that van's behind me, that's a problem. So shuffle step, foot outside. Do it again. Shuffle step, foot inside. Thank you. Cool. Right? So we don't ever want to do that. So shuffle step, foot outside. What works more? This or something else? The elbow. Come around this way a little bit, Maribel. I want you to see. So this is stuck in space. That is doing all the work. Move your elbow. Freeze. Why is your hand moving? Freeze. So what I want you to do is push your elbow to me. Literally push your elbow to my elbow. Go. Yes. Different ball game right there. Okay? Now, 2 against 1. Let's have you stand right here. Grab my wrist. Now we're talking about that serious attacker, right? Mm-hmm. Person's serious about pulling you. You go like this, and now look, I'm trying to. That's a nice attacker. She's let go. So one more time, hold. Freeze. Right here is where you're going to figure out that you don't have enough strength to use one hand. But we need to change this to 2 hands instead of 1. Very simple. So this can go both ways. Like, go back to the single grip. Boom. Standard one-on-one grip. Switch to 2. Standard 2-on-1 grip. You guys with me? Now, just because I go like this doesn't make it a 2-on-2. Our language for Jiu-Jitsu is this is a 2-on-2. Okay. Make sense? So to have a term, like to have the language correct, today we're dealing with standard 1-on-1 and standard 2-on-1. And now what we're going to do is this. I'm going to base out, and I tell this to the kids, and it's funny because no one ever forgets it after I say it. The eagle saves the egg. Boom! Makes so much sense. Makes so much sense. You're holding on here. This bad boy right here needs to come and help. But why do I say the egg? Because my fist should be clenched. It should be strong. Because right now, she's yanking on my arm. I can't let this relax. I could get hurt if I relax anything. So I make a fist, I hold myself in position, and I realize one hand's not going to do the trick. But if I go like this, we're in good shape. Now there is one problem with my little eagle analogy, and that is, well, 2 problems. Number 1, she laughed at me. I'm going to make her work out later. Number 2, elbow has to go under. Hand can't go up. We just talked about that earlier. I can't do this. If an eagle truly saves the egg, it grabs it and flies away. That's a little bit of a misrepresentation. So the idea is to go 1, and now use 2 hands to push my elbow to her elbow. So we still got to follow our rules, but it's an easy way to remember where you're going. Do this. You got to get into the V. Hold up. There you go. Boom. If I'm holding, I'm like this. Look at the V. So you got to enter the V. And then pull from there. And remember, it's not only a pull, it's a push and a pull. You do it that way, nobody's going to hold you. 2 thumbs on top, 8 fingers on bottom. Work against the thumbs. Don't work against the 8 fingers. All right, so one more time. Moving to you. Base is first. Why are those legs so straight? Thank you. Now, if I pull you, shuffle step a little. I'm serious about pulling you. I'm grabbing with 2 now. Try it with 1. I just wanted to feel strong for a second. Go back. So here, grab now with the other one. Elbow goes where?
And
Then, no, elbow goes under to my forearm. Go. Yes, like that. So if she's trying to do this, forget it. If she's pushing under, all day. Okay? Thank you. Let's do Maribel. Come on up. Let's go, let's go. Shouldn't like being on camera, but you are a Jiu-Jitsu student now, so you got to show off a little bit. Wrist, perpendicular base. Then your knees more. Don't let me pull you past it. Now, you see where your head is? It's a little bit close right now, so kind of lean back a little, because you know I'm pulling you this way. Perfect. Now, if I'm not making any progress, I'm going to go here. When I do that, look where your foot is. So your shuffle step's going to need to make a slight adjustment. Yes. Now, 2 against 1. Eagle saves the egg. Freeze. Help me out.
Over.
Over. Into the V. It's got to be into the V. Now, where does your elbow go? To you, and then what? To you, and then what? Freeze. Turn this way. You're about to help the whole world. Actually, 9 people. You're about to help 9 people. You cannot pull this. You need to move this to me. So pull a little, and then push your up. Push your up. Yes! Difference. Big difference. Hold on. Watch. Pull. Now watch. No go. I'm pulling against the 8 fingers. Into the V. Pull a little. Pull as tight as you can. Squeeze. Get it close to the thinnest part. Go like this. Wait, let me remove this. There you go. Go. Okay, ready? Look. It's the elbow that does the trick. That's the leverage. And we said earlier, it has to have that light bulb. You guys are just yanking, you'll get away from people that are equally as strong. If you're doing it correct, you get away from anybody. Make sense? So we'll start off with one. Person's gonna grab you. Boom. Then make it serious. Two, maybe you shuffle step one time to practice replanting your roots. And then, boom, 2 against 1 release. Cool? Let's try. 1, 2, 3. You guys are learning. What's up, sir? No smiles for me to you.
Oh, come on.
He's taking forever. I haven't seen him in like a month. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
I'm back now, Brett. I got the.
That's what yeah, we'll go this way. Okay, so we'll start off slow. I'm gonna guide you through it. So you're doing great on the first one. Perfect. Wait. Release that slow back. So that's one. Number 2 is gonna be I'm gonna go serious and you're gonna replant it one time. So don't let me, I'm gonna have to earn it. There it is. Good. Now eagle saves the egg, elbow goes where? Pretty good, but push it. Because I feel like everything went to you that time, as opposed to you going to me.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
So here, boom, good. Shuffle step. You're good right there.
Okay.
Now hold the egg, and push your elbow. Yeah, that was completely different. Let's bring it closer. So guys, you gotta see this wrist release. First day, right? Wrist release? Matter of fact, tell me.
Karina, hi everybody.
Okay, so Karina's first day ever of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I was just telling her how important it is for her to push her elbow to me to get away from this situation. So if it's the first one, she's gonna base out a little and just go direct with one-on-one release. So shuffle step first, push her elbow, yes. What's the difference? She's not doing this, which a lot of people do. She's doing this, right? Now, more importantly, if it's 2-on-1, because if I'm serious, I'm gonna go here. She's actually really strong, by the way. So from this position, shuffle step a little, just to get closer, right? Now she's gonna take her hand, go between my arms, and push her elbow. Try that again without pushing your elbow, just pull your hand. Just pull your hand on purpose right here, but don't push your elbow at me. Do it wrong. Grab your fist, just pull. Harder, now push.
It's actually.
That's the difference.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry about your wrist.
No, it's okay.
Let's make sure I do it right. Come over. You guys see it? Turn that way. That's how you know I was holding her for real.
Yeah.
See these lines right here? I feel like kind of a jerk, but I also feel like I'm changing her life with Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes, you are.
I'm sorry, okay. Let's mix you into the other group. But that's real though. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
holding you for real. Good. Very good. Okay, mix it in. Let me check if we have any questions or anything. Goldie Lopez asks, where are we located? We are in Lakewood, California, which, thank you very much, John. John actually answered that. I knew his brother, Chris Scotty. What is up, dude? Garage days. Thank you so much for saying I'm an amazing professor. I'm just lucky that I picked the right art at a very, very early stage. Psycho Gaming. What's up, man? He says, thanks. Thank you. Man or woman, I don't know. Everybody's a gamer now. It's pretty cool. Goldie Lopez is in NY. It's probably freezing out there. Is it cold? I'm guessing it's cold. Chris, I'm working my way down the list here. Chris says, if you train with him, tell him what's up. Chris, I can see it myself, brother. Sorry, I'm blocking you guys. Live stream. Blue Phoenix, thank you for the class. Thank you for watching the class, because what's a class without students, right? And Harshini Rathod. Dope name. Very welcome. I noticed when you teach, the camera's a little off. Can't see you moving and grabbing her. I know, you know what it is? The girls don't want to be on camera. That's the honest to God truth. I kind of have an idea which way would be perpendicular so you guys can see, but they don't want to do it. There we go. Okay. All right, big fact. I'm a dude, 14. Been training for a year. That's cool, man. You started at the right age, brother. I started at 17 or 17 and a half. You start at 14. Just make sure when you have great power, you have great responsibility. You've seen Spider-Man. Okay, guys, one more minute. What's that?
Venus is like, I can really feel like I can get away. No, I can. She's strong too. I can't move her.
I felt that right now.
Yeah, right?
Yes. Okay, so that's. I'm seeing it's going well. Okay, online, we're going to give you guys another minute or two, and then we're going to close our class out. But if anyone has questions, please write them in the chat. These guys already feel like they've learned everything that they need to learn, so they stopped. You see how they stopped? Go, keep going. Repetition is the mother of skill. You'll know what that means later. Good. Is it possible to learn jiu-jitsu if you have arthritis and back problems? Yes, if you have the right partner, absolutely you can. Remember, you are not fighting to learn. You are learning to fight. So don't have somebody with you that's helping you out who's fighting you all day and making things worse. Find a good partner who wants to help you get better. Go slow. That's the way to learn. And that one goes to Blue Phoenix. Thank you for watching us. Okay, good. All right, guys, let's call time right there. So, new format for me. We haven't done the live stuff before, but I hope it's not taking away from the personal experience. You guys are here. I appreciate that. Are there any questions about today's lessons? So, this is kind of the structure, the beginning. And as I said later, a lot of the techniques that we do are going to be building upon these lessons. And I think we didn't have a chance to do, one that we didn't do today that I actually like to squeeze in is the cross grip. Because Kenya actually said it earlier, she's like, how do you left to left? 100% right. Why are you trying to put me on blast? Stand over here.
Now he's going to put me on
No. But if I go like this, which leg has to be forward for you? Correct, right? Simple idea. Now, what I meant was same side, not left to left, but this could happen. Right to right could happen. But again, it's the most problematic one because of what this runs into. If it runs into that, it's like, yeah, it still feels weird though. Because you're going to be on that position right there. A lot of times it's not direct. Like I'm coming in at you in a straight line. Boom. But what if, stay right there, it's this. That's, yes. You see the adjustment you made? The outside untrained eye would not have noticed her adjustment. But I noticed that she did that turn to make sure her hand was clear to do the technique. So let's do it a couple times. We'll just touch on it. And then on Wednesday, we'll get a little deeper into that. And do it. Cool? 1, 2, 3. Oh, got it.
So then let me go like this. Right?
Yeah, and then the trick is inside,
Yep.
be like, well,
Correct solution. Perfect.
here, right? Yeah.
I'm shopping.
That's the center.
Come here. No, you have to, oh, that's right, okay.
The cross grip. So let me start off with a simple one. So you're here. Show me how to do
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Are you going?
No, just how you got it. Good. Perfect. Now if I cross grip, what do you have to change to begin with?
I stand.
Perfect. No, right now you can do more of an actual, just like flip the coin, so to speak, right? You're still where you are, just flip the coin the other way. Yeah, exactly. So that's your beginning technique. Does that make sense?
What is it called? Pivot?
You can pivot, that's fine. But the main thing is you gotta flip the coin if you feel that that's the case. So right as you recognize it, do that. Now, it's all about the freedom of your hand. If your hand is stuck here and you pull your elbow underneath, it's gonna stop right about here. If your hand has freedom because you take a miniature step with your back leg, now look what happens. Take a reverse step the wrong way. More. Now try it. Put your elbow under. Never. Go the other way. More. You don't need much more. Just a little more. Because what happens if we go much more? And we're back to the beginning position of resistance that we should be doing. So right here, elbow goes under. Push your elbow. Was that one a pull or a push? Honest. What order? Was a pull. Now do a push. Here, don't push your elbow to your knee. Yes. Different ball. Perfect. All right, guys. So on 3, we'll line it up. 1, 2, 3. Take a straight line. And the way it works is the highest belt, which I think is Catherine, because she has a black bar on her belt, which is not a very good thing. So you go.
I got here first before you. Okay.
Okay, so everybody, let's start with online. You guys, thank you. We'll try to be back on Wednesday at 6:30. If anybody wants to share that with friends, the more the merrier. Okay, it won't. It's only twice a week right now, so hopefully you guys can join us. Everybody else, thank you guys for being here, and let's close it. So what we do is we say together, Very traditional, and the word os, O-S-S. What does os mean? That's your homework. You know what it means? What does it mean? Okay, homework. Homework assignment.
Wait, again, what is it? Os?
Os.
Os, okay.
Os. All right, let's do it. Ready? Together? Os. I hear you. One more time. Together? Os.
Os.
Perfect. Fist bump. Fist bump. Sneaky. Fist bump. Fist bump.
Wait, message you so we can chat about it.
Absolutely.
Cool,
Yeah.
thank
guys
you.
ready to go?
Yes.
What's
That was
your thought?
awesome.
What's your thoughts?
That's
what I'm always
somewhat.
curious
I
about.
like it. Yeah,
What you
somewhat.
thought?
Yeah, that was
Let's
very
see,
helpful.
grab this. Put your open mouth. It works. Different grip. I call that job
Actually,
job
I tried it
security.
on. Fair. I said, what if I grab it from the top?
Job security. You gotta come back. You gotta come back.
I'm gonna come back so I can.
Thank you, you too. All right, shut it down. Shut it down. Wait, let me look at the comments first. Let's find the page. Be a moderator for your
Okay,
next
where's
class.
the-
You're
Hi,
actually
Kenny,
right
nice to meet you.
about that. We're gonna try to get Mr. Pick Six.
No, I'm gonna head out.
That's a great idea to do that. Thank you, Brody.
Kenya.
Bye, Joe Class. Go smart with your students. Stop being so aggressive, Psycho Gaming. Let's be nice.